What's up, everybody? This is the Classic Tycoon here, and today we're doing another episode of Is It Possible on Forest Frontiers? So, today we're asking the question, is it possible to beat Forest Frontiers without building a single ride? I am going to do a big time lapse in just a moment here, but I just want to explain to you guys what my idea is on how I'm going to try and complete this. Right now you can see I'm turning off all research for regular rides. Just keep it on shops and stalls. I'm going to do advertising campaigns for the park, and also once I build food stalls, I'll do advertising campaigns for free food. And other than that, I'm going to hire a bunch of entertainers. I'm going to try to, I don't know, there's a couple things that I try in the video, and you're gonna see what happens. Okay, so first thing you can see I do is I hire entertainers right off the bat. I'm going to see how the marketing campaign does for the guests. And while I do that, I'm going to just build a big circular path here, or big square path, I guess. You can't really build circles in this game. So here's our big rectangle. The guests are just going to wander around that. I'm going to fill up the pathway with entertainers and probably put some gardens in the middle, or definitely put some gardens in the middle. Let's hire some more entertainers, just get the guests nice and happy here, and then we'll start seeing if we can make it look a little bit nicer. I don't know, I haven't looked up if like scenery really affects the guests that are just walking around. I wish that this park had the jumping fountains, because I know that affects the guests in a positive way. When they're walking through, they think about the jumping fountains. I don't think I've ever seen a guest just think about gardens as they're walking around. But nonetheless, we're going to put some gardens around the park and see if that does anything at all for the guests. There's not really any way to make money in this park. We will put an information kiosk once it is researched, which shouldn't take too long. There it is. We'll put that there, and then, other than that, we're not going to have any revenues, so I'm going to have to go straight off of loans, and I'm going to be paying for a lot of staff with these entertainers, and also, I've got to pay for everything else just straight off of the loan, so it's gonna be tricky, and I have to maintain the marketing campaigns and all that to keep the guests coming in the park. So the park marketing campaign, you can see the guest count at the top, 67, 68, and it's kind of sticking around there. So it's rough building a amusement park without any amusement. I know if I went to this park, I definitely would walk in, even if it's free. You just walk in, you're like, oh, that's some nice gardens and some food to buy, but I'm not hungry, and maybe an umbrella and a park map of this big rectangle. Alright, I think I've seen everything. Let's go. So we're up to 80 guests, not bad. I'm surprised the park rating has not gone down. It's pretty steady there, so that's good. My thought here, what I'm doing next is I'm trying to build a bunch of pathways to keep the guests from being able to leave the park, so getting them confused. And having to navigate all these pathways, basically making it a giant maze so that they can't leave the park, and that will get my guest count up. I'm going to see if that works. That's just an experiment. That was kind of what I was thinking as I built this. had no idea if it was going to work or not. This one is the actual exit to get out of the park, because I put do not enter signs over there. So I want him to still be able to get out, because I know how much it'll drop your rating if guests aren't able to leave. But I just make the pathway really long to get out. But you can see the guest count is definitely going up. It's skyrocketing. But check out the park rating now, as it's starting to severely drop. And I try to remedy that by hiring a ton of staff, a ton of entertainers, but just like almost half the park is trying to leave, and they're lost and they can't get out. So at this point, I figure, you know, I'm gonna keep trying to hire the entertainers, but I think it's pretty much going to be impossible to do this at this point without letting the guests leave. So I delete the no entryway signs. You can see the park rating starting to go up, the guest count starting to go down. So that's the tough thing about trying to do this. You know, your park rating is gonna stay up as long as the guests are allowed to leave, because the angry guests have left, so your park rating is fine. But then if the angry guests leave, then you have less guests. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I don't know. So at this point, I decided that was a complete failure. So I'm just going to go through and delete all this stuff that I did. Try to get some of the money back so that I can continue my marketing campaigns and at least have some money left around to work with here. So I've got to go through and undo everything that I just did. It was a thought, you know. I thought it might work, but it did for a moment. It kept the guest count high, but definitely that park rating just dropped way too dramatically for that to work. So yeah, we're just gonna have to go through and get rid of all this. Some guests are gonna be lost out here, and obviously all the entertainers as well. So I'm gonna have to pick them up, put them back on the pathway. And we'll see if there's anything left to try. At this point, I just wanted to get the entertainers back on there. But the guest count is sticking around 100 guests. It's going up a little. I mean, yeah, it's just kind of staying right at 100. Kind of dipping below that, the 97, 96 range. And I'm not really sure there's much else we can do to get the guest count up. Starting to go up a little bit here, 110. Just keep watching that guest count, 120-ish. But it's struggling. It's definitely struggling. I'm going to try to keep a couple of the entertainers just stuck right at the entrance of the park, so that when people come in, they immediately are just bombarded with the entertainers and their happiness skyrockets. But it doesn't really seem to be working too well. I tried putting in some free balloons, and then I also decreased the price of everything else so that the guests only pay cost. But as you can see, none of the guests seem to be even taking the free balloons. So they must be really pretty upset. Do some more marketing campaigns. One final push here at the end as we reach the end of August. And we've got about 2 months left to complete this thing. but I'm fresh out of ideas. Park rating is still good, about a 708, not bad. But you can see that guest count going down. Well, I mean, it's about almost 130. That's one of the highest it's been, but it's just, it can't reach it over the hump. I'm completely out of money, so I can't do any more marketing campaigns, even with the full loan. And at this point, the guest rate really starts to drop. And now I'm about 50 guests. You can see October flying by here. And we have officially failed the objective. I don't know if it's possible. I really don't think. I think that's going to be the most difficult way to try to beat a park, is with absolutely no rides. I don't think it's possible. I honestly don't think so. You guys give it a try. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Let me know if you've got any ideas for Is It Possible episodes in the future. I'll catch you guys in the next one.